Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. In this video, we are going to be looking at my best Arsenal starting 11 this season. And before I go into it, I have to say this is the hardest video I've ever done on my channel. It's the hardest, and we are going to agree and disagree on many points in this one. Who starts where, who has to start, who has to be the number 2 option, who doesn't deserve to be at Arsenal, because that's what we are going to be basically looking at in this video. Who plays where and who doesn't play. We are only looking at players that are already at Arsenal. We are not looking at loan players. We're not looking at potential signings. We are not looking at potential transfers. I've just looked at 11 players who I think, actually not 11, but 17 players who I think should be playing at Arsenal. 11 to start and then 7 on the bench. That makes it around 18. So we're going to be looking at these players, and my evaluation is purely on merit. So I think there is only one player who I think deserves a lot of playing time, and that's Gabby Martinelli, and I'll try to defend him when I reach Gabby Martinelli. And but the rest of the players, it's how good you are. If you're not good enough, I'll put you out. If you're good enough, then I'll put you in. So let's get the journey started. In goal, of course, everybody knows this. I've gone with Leno. I think he is the better goalkeeper. If you ask me, Arsenal, he is the better goalkeeper. Better than Brian, better than all the number 3s and number 4s and the other options we have. Arsenal, I think we can trust him. I don't know how many people trust Leno, how many people love Leno, but I love him and I believe in him. I think this season, if you look at his stats, he's the second best goalkeeper in the league. So I've gone with Leno in there. I don't know what you guys think, but I've gone with Leno, and I'm not changing my mind. I'm not really changing my mind. Now the problems actually started as early as the centre-back partnership and the right back and left back. I think, okay, I did experience a lot of hardships in the left back position, because I think we have one quality player, but in the right back, this is where my head was actually rolling, because we have 3 options for me who are not good enough, but I had choose a player who is better than those. It's absolutely crazy, and I went with Callum Chambers. We've not seen him so much this season. Actually, I have seen him, around 2 times in the Europa League, and then against West Ham in the Premier League. But I was impressed. And make no mistake, he's one of the players I do not like at Arsenal. I don't rate him as a player. I don't like him. Many Arsenal fans on this channel actually like him, but I don't rate him. And I wouldn't have put him in my starting 11 if it was, purely personal. The reasons for qualification were personal. He wouldn't actually qualify. But I think he's the better right back at Arsenal. However much he's got little time, recorded on the pitch, however much he's not played a lot of minutes for Arsenal, I think he's the better right back. I looked at his crossing against West Ham, the accuracy. I looked at the way he comes in front, the way he tracks back. I think it's better than Bellerin. I think it's better than Cedric as well, because Cedric has a very good defensive part of his game, and he's very awful going forward. Bellerin would be good going forward. He's no longer so much of a good player going forward. But again, defensive-wise, you can't trust Bellerin. So in terms of being a right back who's a little bit more balanced, I think Chambers is the player. So I've gone with Chambers, however much we have not seen him play so many times. Of course, the left back, like I told you, it was this easy. I went with Kian Tierney. I think Tierney has been outrageously good. He's the most improved player. I was watching Thogden and Thogdad, and they were mentioning the most improved players at Arsenal, and then Thogdad did talk about Kian Tierney. And I think if you compare Kian Tierney from last season to this season, there's a big difference between the two players. He's so improved. He's the offensive attributes of his game, the defensive attributes of his game so much has changed around Kientiani. There is that thing you just feel he's the perfect player to play for Arsenal in that position. Whenever Kientiani is on the pitch, you just feel that assurance, just feel that security as a fan. And I think, without any questions, let's go with Kientiani and Chambers as our fullbacks. If you do not agree, put a name in the comment box. And if you agree, smash a like on the video. Now, the problem with my defensive duo is Mikel Arteta has been very inconsistent. He's not given me enough time to see who should actually play for Arsenal in the centre back, because almost I don't know whether he's trying to get to try to give these guys playing time, or he's actually trying to create I don't know what he's doing by rotating always rotating this centre back partnership. But for me, it's not good news. But at the end of the day, I did go with and don't make a mistake. This is a lineup for only this season. After this, I'll do my dream Arsenal 11, one I think that should be actually playing for us next season and the seasons to come. So in the centre back partnership, I've gone with David Luiz. I think it's only fair to go with David Luiz. I mean, he's been there for us. He gives us that. He gives that it gives that experience. It gives that leadership skill. I think one of the things that you or we will miss on David Luiz is the ability to lead. That ability, because there are not so many Arsenal players that have it. You can talk about Kientiani. You can talk about David Luiz. Of course, Partey is highly doubtable because he's been so injured. We have not seen so much of the leadership skills he has. We have not seen so much of the leadership skills in Martin Odegaard. So I think Luiz and Kientiani, they give us that, that kind of leadership. You won, and I think the way he organizes the centre back, that line, I think of course you've got to put him there. Then the other player I would put in this one is actually Gabriel Magalys. There is no way I was going to skip him. There's no way I was going to skip Gabriel. He's having a fantastic debut season at Arsenal, and that's one of the reasons as to why, for me, he qualifies to be in this starting lineup better than anyone, because he's having his debut season at Arsenal, and just look at the quality he produces. Just look at how good he is this season. I just imagine if we have Gabriel for the next 3 years, nurturing him and mentoring him, and he gets the right, mentorship, I think it's going to become one of the best centre backs, and it's gonna be a fight whether Arsenal could actually keep a player of his quality in the side, because I think Kientiani, Gabriel Magalys, and William Saliba next season, he is in my dream 11. William Saliba, and I will defend him next season. I mean, in the video about the dream 11 next season. But I think Gabriel and David Luiz have such a very good partnership. Of course, I thought about Pablo Mari. He's been so good whenever he's come on. He's been so good as a player. He's not made fouls. He's not made He has done nothing wrong not to deserve to play for Arsenal in this starting 11. But like I said, this is one of the hardest videos I've had to do. Gabriel and Luiz qualify, Pablo Mari on the bench, Bellerin on the bench, and the other players. Now, moving to the midfield, I think this is quite easy because everybody knows that Thomas Partey actually, is going to be in that midfield. Who doesn't know? And you know what he offers at Arsenal if he's actually giving us the best. Again, I think Granit Xhaka deserves to be playing for Arsenal. Every game of the last 13 games he's played, he's been quality. Every game of the last 13 games he's been. Of course, there are times when I really rant about him, making small mistakes, but that doesn't take away the quality he's been producing this season. I don't know how he transformed himself into a very good player, but he's just doing the real things that I would love to see in such a player. Then, of course, Martin Odegaard, for me, Martin Odegaard comes in as the creative player. I don't know, how did I write this? It should be Odegaard. Nice one. So I think Odegaard completes the midfield. Xhaka, Partey, and Martin Odegaard. This season, Martin Odegaard, the creativity and the tenacity he offers to Arsenal. Granit Xhaka, he's just there. He's not flying, but he's just giving us that quality that he can't give us. And then Thomas Partey, the best midfielder Arsenal have in terms of a central midfielder and a CDM. Now my problems are with the last three players, and please do help me with the comments in the comment box. Who should be playing for Arsenal on the right, on the left, and as a striker? Because I'm going to drop Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and everybody's gonna be fuming with me, but I'm gonna drop him. Of course, the first player, which even makes it harder, is Bukayo Saka, because there is no way you're gonna put Saka out of this lineup. So actually, that means I have two spots. This, the center forward, and then the left wing, where I have to put either Gabby Martinelli or Pepe or Willian or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang or Emile Smith Rowe. And for me, all these players have been so good. Apart from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I think Willian, the way he has turned around his season, Pepe, the way he has turned around, Gabriel Martinelli, all of us know he deserves a starting chance in this lineup. He's done nothing wrong. He's one of those players that have, actually earned it to be in the starting lineup at Arsenal. Emile Smith Rowe, if I talk about merit, if I'm talking about earning it, then Smith Rowe is one of those players that have actually earned it, to start for Arsenal. So it's a big one. It's a big question. But I'm going to put Alexander Lacazette as our, as our center forward. And I don't know why, we don't have a picture. I don't know why I don't have a picture. But I'm putting Alexander Lacazette as my striker because, first and foremost, on merit, he is Arsenal's top scorer this season in the Premier League and in all competition. So he just qualifies there, bro. And I'm not leaving out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang because of the mistakes and missing chances and having a quiet season. I'm just going with the best player. And for me, I think Lacazette this season has been on fire. And lastly, Willian, Pepe, Emile Smith Rowe. We have to choose one. And I'm going to go with, I'm just going to go with Emile Smith Rowe. I think he deserves to be there. I mean, he deserves to be, Smith Rowe deserves to be in the starting lineup. I don't know what you guys think about this. It's crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy that I've gone with an 11 without Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, without Pepe, without Willian. But for me, this is my starting 11 on Arsenal this season. These are the players that have earned it more than others to be playing, in the starting 11. I think Emile Smith Rowe, however much I'm playing him, to the left, and of course, his ability to stretch play, his ability to play in wide areas are the reason as to why Mikel Arteta and I decide, actually choose him to play on the left. Bukayo Saka, he's been outrageously so good on the right. He kicks out Willian and Pepe. Alexander Lacazette, for me, kicks out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. However much Aubameyang has been, the captain and holding Arsenal for the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons, I think this season, Alexander Lacazette has been the better player. He's delivered whenever he's got the chance. So that is my 11: Leno, Luiz, Gabriel, Chambers, Kiantieni, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Lacazette, and Bukayo Saka. If you ask me the 7, I would go with on the bench. Of course, I have to have a goalkeeper there, so I'll go with Matt Ryan. I think it's the better second choice. Then I'll go with 2 defenders there, and that is Pablo Mari. I think he deserves to be, he deserves to be among the starting squad. Pablo Mari, he's done nothing wrong. And I'll go with Cedric. And the reason as to why I'll go with Cedric on my bench is his versatility, because he can play as a left back, and he can also play as a right back. Obviously, he can play as a centre back if anything happens on a wrong day. Those are 2 players. The third one I will go with is Pepe. Of course, Pepe has to be there. I'll go with Gabriel Martinelli as well. I think Martinelli has to be, among. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has to be there. Willian has to be a part. And then the last player I will actually go with is I want to go with Mohamed El Neni. I don't think he deserves to even come closer to this lineup. Okay, then we can't go with Hector Bellerin. So Bellerin on the bench, Cedric on the bench, Matrayan on the bench. In the midfield, I don't see anyone. I don't think Tobias has earned it. So Willian, Pepe on the bench, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as well on the bench. But you can tell me what you think about the starting 11 and Arsenal this season, because the reason I've actually done this video when we have gone into international break is I've seen a lot of changes. Mikel Arteta, at times he's not actually changing this lineup because of because he's trying to he's not changing this lineup because he's trying to create space or give players playing time, but he's trying to look for the right players to play in what position. And for me, look, I think this is our best 11. I don't know whether it is to you, but for me, this is our best 11. And I'll come with the dream 11. It's crazy, but it has players like Grealish, it has players like Tariq Lamptey, it has so many players. So watch out for it. Smash a like on this video, and I'll speak to you in that dream 11. Arsenal, who should be in our dream 11? Who should be starting for Arsenal next season? Because there are players that I think shouldn't be playing for us, however much they're good. Number one is Emile Smith-Rowe. He's so good, but I would prefer to have a Felipe Coutinho there. Granit Xhaka, he's been quality. I would prefer to have a Saul Niguez there, or a Joe McGinn. David Louis, I prefer to have a Saliba there. Chambers, I would prefer to have a Tariq Lamptey there. So I'm going to have my dream 11, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Goodbye for now.